Family counselors Sissy Goff and Melissa Trevathan are co-authors of Modern Parents, Vintage Values. After watching the family's evening, they spent time with Mary and her kids to help them work through some of the problems they witnessed. The first issue they tackled was Mallory's phone.
Mallory was texting under the table. That's a complaint we hear from parents a lot, that kids will sneak their phone to the dinner table or to their room or have their computer at a time they're not supposed to, and I think that's just a really typical problem with today's technology and kids.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
You all enjoy each other so much as a family that we would both say that dinner time is a time that's real important to focus in. One suggestion that I would have is that maybe y'all could even have a basket that's the cell phone basket. And so when you walk into the dining room, you toss your cell phone in there, and so does Brian, and so does your mom.
When we go to restaurants, we put them away, and so why wouldn't we in our own home? That makes sense.
The issue of Brian taking out the trash turned out to be a bit more complicated.
Tell us your version of that.
My mom wants me to take out the trash, and I don't really want to do it right then. There's football on, I got better things to do than go take out the trash.
Mary had to say things over and over again. Have you taken the trash out? Take the trash out, take the trash out. He doesn't respond in any way.
One-word answers, so typical for an adolescent boy.
Right, and it was really hard to get him to talk, to engage at all. When you said okay, were you thinking you were going to take it out eventually, or were you...
I don't get why it has to be done at that second.
If you could have said, hey Mom, I'm watching the game, are you okay if I do it at the next commercial break?
I guess I could have said that.
Just saying a little bit more, it's more respectful of your mom.
What's going to play out is she would say, Brian, I want you to get the trash by the end of the game, and if that doesn't happen, there's a consequence, and the next night you don't watch a game. Or you say back, hey Mom, I'll get the trash, but I'd like to do it at the next commercial break if that's okay with you from the game.
It's less energy on both of our parts, don't you think?
Yeah.
A little more for you because you have to say a few more words.
But the big issue for Brian and Mallory was their morning routine.
I feel like he can be really selfish a lot of times, where he's tired, don't want to get up, don't care if I'm late.
You want him developmentally again to be learning, this is how I'm affecting my sister, cause and effect.
I feel like Mallory and Brian have probably a pretty normal relationship, but she definitely gets frustrated with him for running late on the way to school, and feels like he, I think, gets away with more being the oldest. But I think she probably takes her stress out on him as well.
Go ahead, Brian. Talk some more about what you feel like the morning's like.
I'm getting up, taking a shower, getting dressed with Mallory yelling at me. And I'm down there at 7.
He's on time, but him being on time involves me every 5 minutes going and tying.
Honestly, that doesn't make any difference.
When you are late, or when she's late, because she was late today, that y'all are affecting each other. I think it's so great when siblings do something that impacts the other negatively, then they have to do something positive for the other. So the new deal is that anytime one of you makes the other late, paying that person $10.
But even if I get $10, I'm still late for school.
I know, but we're hoping that if he has to keep paying you $10, it will hurry him up. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mary is a great mom. She loves her children and enjoys her children, and I think they really enjoy her. You have a lot of similar questions from parents, and what we talk to them about is how it feels like the situations haven't changed so much as they've ramped up in intensity, and disrespect is so much more of an issue than it's ever been, and entitlement, and how do you teach your children to be grateful? And then, of course, there's technology, which is more of an issue than it's ever been. And so we kind of came along with this idea of modern parents, this modern world that they're in, but bringing back vintage values, and how do we continue to build character into the lives of kids.
There's a quote that we really love, and it's from our friend Dr. Dan Allender. And when he's talking to his son, he's saying, you are the only you that this world will ever know. And there is something about you that will make something about God known in a way that no one else can. That's our mission, to help a child begin to sense that they have a purpose, that they have meaning in their life. Instead of this feeling of, I'm useless, it really doesn't matter what I do or what I say.
And as a parent, you have an ability to draw out parts of who God has called your child to be in a way that no one else does. I think one thing we want parents always to know is that there's hope. And even if it feels like you've gotten into a situation where you're not just hearing chill out once, you're hearing it a million times a day, you can always go back and say, hey, I don't think we've done this very well, and we need to start over on the respect issue or on the entitlement issue. And we are a work in progress, and God always has hope for us, and I think we can always have hope for our children.